Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Nordic Champions here at the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios. My name is Hillerød. I'm joined once again by Orcs, and we have one more game of the day. It's going to be Bifrost versus Hillerød. I'm really excited for this one. It's two teams we haven't seen so far, funnily enough, because we're on the first day.
Shocker.
My brain is slowly melting. Like after game two, my brain has just been going slowly down in stages. And that last game was fun, but it was relatively lengthy because they played fairly slow.
Yeah, and I'm going to be interested to see how these teams approach this one. I'm interested to see particularly Bifrost. I think Energy in the mid lane, he's had a storied history in the UK as well as internationally. He's played at MSI. If you're interested, it was a game where they 5-manned made at level 1 against Faker and killed him on his birthday. And Faker got revenge and crushed them. So that was an interesting one. But I'm interested to see how he does here on this team where he is definitely the most experienced player. Takes set in the bot lane. I think he's very much an up-and-coming player. Pretty experienced in terms of solo queue, but not so much in terms of competitive.
Yeah.
Bit of an ego player, can be very aggressive. And so I'm hoping for Pedersen, who is the second most experienced player on his team, to sort of rein him in a bit, because he's very much like, he's a puppy that you just release and you go, let him go. If he gets the resources, he will pop off, but if he's left his own device, he's maybe over-aggressive. And then up against Hillerød, it's interesting, these matchups. Hillerød, I think this might be a tough matchup for them. I favour Bifrost here, but I'm going to be interested to see what they bring out to sort of challenge them.
So let's look a little bit about predictions, because we've seen a few teams play already. I mean, we've seen all of the teams play but these two. So what are we expecting? Like, where are you thinking, like, in the next couple of weeks when we start to get some more games under each team's belts and the standings start to kind of spread out a little bit? Where do you feel Bifrost and Hillerød will be kind of placing in those standings?
I feel like Bifrost could definitely be middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I think Hillerød, again, this is based on my initial preconceptions. I don't know for sure, but I think they'll be sort of struggling at the lower end.
Yeah.
I think this game is their first, obviously their first challenge, but this is a test for them to sort of overcome a roster that on paper is stronger than them. If they can beat them, then credit to them. They can maybe go further, but I think right now it's a good first test for them, Bifrost, because I think if they're up against a team like Singularity or Nordic, I expect a lot of things that don't always come true, but I expect that they would struggle. But here against Bifrost, I think there are definitely avenues where they can find success here. Okay,
so let's turn our attention towards picks and bans here. So is there anything special you think we're going to see in this fourth game, or do you think it's more of the same? Maybe not that Soraka top, as it's a little bit, it's fairly fresh to a lot of these teams, but like, are we just going to look at the pretty standard, the Sennas, the Aphelioses, more banning in mid lane towards the Akali and stuff?
The top laner, Lokedwin, he does play Garen.
Okay.
So that could be an interesting one. I actually think Garen, not so much in competitive, but in solo queue is a decent pick. You got the Triforce Phantom Dancer build, because attack speed now scales with your
Spinny Boy.
Spinny Boy, yeah.
Beyblade.
That's a name for it, actually, Spinny Boy Beyblade. Riven banned away as a respect from Fiala. He is a former Riven one-trick pony. Obviously given up those good days, because you have to in competitive when people ban away.
Yeah.
Do you see the Akali, unsurprising, come through as a ban, and then a Gragas banned away from Shackle. Shackle is a pretty selfish jungler, quite aggro, but plays very much around finding him a lead.
Yeah.
Does like the Talia quite a bit, so the Talia Pantheon could be a viable combo to come out. We do see the Senna banned away, which I'm happy to see. The champion is really not balanced.
All right, well, they do also take away that Braum as well. So, Bifrost, do they want to look to take away the Aphelios as well and kind of shove the tier list down a little bit? But that does obviously leave one more AD carry up there as well, which Misfortune, sorry. I completely forgot who else was really strong.
I think,
or do they just pick whichever one they take preference?
I think with Braum banned away here in particular, I feel like Aphelios might be difficult to protect him. I think MF is the better pick here, and Hillerød have gone straight for that, so I like that draft. Denying the Braum means that if you pick Aphelios here, it's easy for Hillerød to answer with the likes of a Leona. It's very threatening towards them. But Bifrost right now, potentially contemplating going in a different direction. I do know if they are going to play weak side, they do like to have Fiala on Ornn, although I don't think he is the greatest weak side player, sometimes over-aggressive. We saw that in the last game, the Ornn constantly looking for fights. So I think there might be a situation similar here where Fiala is trying to challenge, which isn't always the best thing when on weak side.
All right, well, let's see what Bifrost want to look to add to their composition here. They could pick up an AD carry. They could maybe pick up a support, something that would work well with the MF.
Yeah, potentially you could deny something here if you want to get rid of the Leona. Although I feel like blinding the support here when they've got an AD carry advantage is a big thing. Take set.
I mean, you said they're a very confident AD carry.
Yeah, so this is a confident pick. This is, if you're going to make the game about you, if you're going to play aggro, then Draven is the pick to do it on. So a lot of respect for that. And in terms of lane bullying, can actually go toe-to-toe with the Misfortune. And similarly, those one-item spikes are really big. A lot of Dravens like to go for the Bloodthirster first, and you hit that big one item. You lifesteal so much damage that's coming at you, and you can...
And there he is. The boss is taken to the Rift as well. We haven't seen him all day. He's been open all day. And you said at the beginning of the day, you think it's a bit of a bait. But you do look at what he's playing into. That's an Ornn. He can slam a tank into the team.
Yeah, I think if you're blinding him, it's really rough. There are a lot of picks that can sort of make his life hell in the top lane. But up against an Ornn, I think it's a fine pick. If you flip the Ornn into the enemy team, you can do a ton of damage. And actually, interesting interaction. If you ult the Ornn when he's doing his Bellows Breath, he's untargetable, right?
Yeah.
You still go.
Oh.
The Ornn doesn't come with you, but you still go and you still deal the AoE damage.
What? Of Ornn? Or...
Yes. Off the Ornn's max HP. So it's pretty crazy. No surprise to see the Leona coming out here. Leona MF a really strong combo, especially up against this Draven. And Bifrost are contemplating the Morgana.
I actually like that. That makes Leona's life really hard because you just splat the Black Shield on the Draven. Blood rushes forward and just chunks people out. So they're going to go for it.
It's a super volatile pick, though, with Morgana. If Morgana's ahead, great. You can't engage. Really hard to do anything. If Morgana's behind, all Leona has to do is Zenith Blade in, and then as soon as Morgana uses Black Shield, you just stun the other target.
Yes.
And then MF has so much damage and follow-up, it's really hard to deal with. So Bifrost, by all means, they need a lot of attention bot lane to ensure that they're going to be successful here. Hillerød, I expect them to do a similar thing by putting attention bot lane. We haven't seen either team pick their junglers yet, so there will be priority towards Bifrost here. They have a little bit of an advantage. They can pick the jungler first after these bans, and then they can use a counter pick to give an advantage towards energy in this matchup, which by all means he'll be happy to take. Jarvan taken off the cards already, and then the Nunu denied from Flipper, which he did used to be a Nunu one-trick pony. We have quite a few of them in the Nordic.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's suitable to the climate.
Yeah,
Makes a lot of sense. And then bans coming away from energy in the mid lane, specifically targeting him, the Cassiopeia and the Syndra. Just things you can potentially be a menace with in terms of counter pick. And now I expect the jungle pick here for Shackle.
Let's see what Shackle could go. Shackle could play the Shaco, but that would be a very, very optimistic pick. He's going to go for something a little bit more reliable in that Lee Sin, locking that in. And now we'll see what the answer is. They're looking for a mid laner. They're looking for a jungler as well for the side of Hillerød.
I like the Lee Sin. It's a good denial away from Flipper, but also it's a strong pick in and of itself, especially with the bans that have gone through already.
Yeah.
Definitely something you can use to put pressure down towards the bot lane. So the Diana come in as a pick.
Remember that Morgana could technically be a mid flex as well.
I mean, everything here could technically be a mid flex, right?
Lee Sin mid.
Yeah, there's potential. It's a possible Ornn mid, Draven mid.
I mean, we've seen it. The Draven maybe not. I'm not feeling that, especially if it takes it. I feel like if someone's going to be playing the AD carry on this role.
Okay, so they're going for the Sejuani. Had quite a few buffs in the last few patches, and I think when you have triple melee lanes, you have a melee support, melee mid lane, a melee top laner, there's a lot of melee champions to set up that stun passive, which makes it really effective. Question's going to be, what is Bifrost going to run at the composition with for energy? You're up against a Diana and potentially a Sejuani, so there's a lot of potential engages they can do on you that can make your life difficult. I really like the Veigar pick here. I really like the fact that the cage can offer a lot of disengage. It is an anti-melee pick. That is why you take the Veigar, because it is so good against melee champions, and there are so many on Hillerød. So if you're trying to find these engages, he puts the cage down, and
Glacial Augment as well.
Yeah,
it's what you expect to deal with. It's going to be really, really hard for them to
That being said, despite it being an anti-melee champion, if any CC comes on a Veigar and then Misfortune can follow up with the ult, it will be vulnerable. But I feel like getting into the later stages of this game, Bifrost are in a pretty good position to team fight as long as their backline is positioned correctly. If it's front to back, Bifrost will crush it. Otherwise, Hillerød will be successful. And there's always the set ult, which can mix things up. If you ult the Ornn into the backline, that percentage HP can decimate a carry.
And this is what we see, though. This is what Hillerød are looking to do. They've got a Diana, they've got a set, they've got the capabilities to play massive upset in these team fights and spread them out into pure chaos. But if Bifrost can just control like the pits they want to fight around, the areas they want to fight around, it does become hard here for Hillerød to actually punish them.
Yeah, and I think it's all about kiting backwards. If the enemy team is funneling in to chase you, it's so easy to put a cage down, throw a binding, and it's almost guaranteed to hit someone. Very easy to do, but I feel like if they sort of try and go too aggressive, if they try and chase into Hillerød's roster, there's a good chance they'll get flanked and picked apart.
Well, we're going to have to see how this is going to be phasing out here. We haven't really talked too much about the Sejuani pick as well here. This is something that did get picked up by Hillerød. What are you making of that?
I think, you know, I did say this 2 minutes ago. So,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, it synergizes really well with the melee pick.
I've casted with him for so long that at this point I've just learned to tune him out.
Yeah. I'm glad the viewers don't do that.
Probably, you don't know
probably
that.
Just mute me. Yeah, Sejuani, great with melee picks. Definitely a lot of skirmishing power. I think that's a big thing, is that skirmishing very much in the favor of Hillerød. Despite the fact there's a Lee Sin on the side of Bifrost, this Sejuani can have a ton of success in the early game off the back of these melee champions, whereas Bifrost are waiting for a little bit longer. The exception is bot lane. I think mid and top are looking to scale, but bot lane, you want to put attention there as soon as possible and get this Draven ahead.
Well, we're on the rift for our fourth and final game here of day one of the Nordic Championships. Hillerød versus Bifrost. It's all to play for 1 point. But a solid start to the season helps.
It's a confidence boost.
If you can go 2-0 in your first week, you feel very, very comfortable going into, you know, week 2, week 3. You know, first of all, it gives you a kind of cushion to fall back on if you do end up dropping a few games, because, you know, not everybody always wins everything, unfortunately.
And I think as well as that, in this situation, both these teams know that they're not currently the sort of expected strongest teams in the league. And I think this is an opportunity where both of them can get a win on the table against opposition where there's real potential. I'm not saying neither of these teams can challenge the top teams, but it's definitely an upset. This matchup right now is a game where they can take a point.
Well, let's see how this works out. Red side start here for Shackle. Flipper starting on that blue side, so he's just going for the pretty standard blue into Gromp. Shackle, is he going to go for chickens or is he going to go buff to buff? Going to go for chickens.
Yeah, I think with Lee Sin, you want to pass through, get your blue buff, take your level 3, then contest that bot scuttle. I do like this path because he's moving straight towards the bot lane, which is, as we said, where we want to focus. Sejuani can comfortably play through any lane. All three have great setup for her, but I think particularly top and mid, there is a lot of potential to gank that. However, bot lane, they found the shovel already. Overextension can often turn into a favorable situation for the enemy jungler.
I have not seen the Mecha Kingdom skin for Draven in game.
Well, now you have.
It's really cool.
Only can play Draven.
Yeah. Have you seen my Draven?
Fortunately not.
Fortunately not, yeah. I play 2 AD carries and that's it.
I think it's difficult to play a lot of Draven against a lot of these picks, and I do think having the Black Shield is a massive asset, but if this Draven falls behind, if this Morgana falls behind, if Bifrost falls behind, it's going to be very difficult for the Draven to be relevant, and I think they're going to be relying on overcommittal from Hillerød and misplays in team fights where they run into the Vigor cage, for example. Oh, Orn's just beating him.
Look at him, goes for the Hadouken, but doesn't actually find it. Energy actually is kind of falling a little bit behind in CS, but he's kind of pushing slow, and wow! Relala is just smashing him right now.
But remember the passive regen available to set. So you should just be able to heal up out of that damage. No real problem. And the big thing is he has wave priority. So the opportunity may arise for him to go for one of those cheetah recalls we talked about earlier, where you get shoved in the lane. Because the opponent is catching the wave, you can recall the base, pick up items, reset, and get back before the wave has even hit your tower.
Keep our eyes on that. Constant push as well in this bot side of the map. You expect this much from a Draven. It's generally how it's played. Likes to push the wave, kind of has to keep the axes going.
Yeah, nice freeze coming out here. Makes it dangerous for Bifrost to overextend. They know their jungler has just reset. So they know that they aren't going to have any assistance, and they have no information on Sejuani right now. They can estimate where she is, but they can't know for sure.
Oh, there you go. Finally lands that haymaker. And then Frolala just builds a little pillar for him. So far, though, not too much action from the junglers. It's been a calm start to the game as Shackle wants to see if he can make something happen, but is spotted out by a Scribe. But Flipper was able to proc, so they know where he is. Other than now, they're just going to play nice and safe on the top side.
It does mean as well that Bifrost are aware of Flipper's location.
Yeah.
Definitely changes the dynamic in the bot lane. A lot of poke being laid down on the take set here.
He does need to be very careful. Obviously, that black shield means he's relatively safe, but
the big issue with the black shield is the cooldown. It's like a 20+ second cooldown at level 1. And also, again, there's a switch in targets factor. If you Zenith played on one person, switch to the other, very easily you can end up
actually stepping up here. Hadouken. Just gonna have to flash away. Does take the Q, gets the haymaker off, and does a fair amount of damage in return, but
ultimately flash burned for Lockhead, and he's gonna be able to farm up that wave on the tower, but definitely puts him in a vulnerable position. And Flipper so far not really gone too aggressive here. There's definitely still potential to do so because of the melee lanes to set up the passive, but so far he's just been happy farming away. I personally would like to see potentially more action, but I guess waiting for this setup because of the ultimates available to Set and Diana, really great setup for ganks.
Absolutely. Lockdown's just looking for a push in here, make sure that this wave does crash and maybe get himself a nice base off. So that haymaker, some relatively nice wave clear, that and the face breaker. There you go. Pushes this wave in. Cannon actually lost for Frolala there. Should catch the rest of this wave pretty easily for himself. And Lockdown still got teleport. Did lose his flash though. He's going to come back to lane. See what he looks to try and base up and buy. The F sword has been picked up by Take Set as double up does actually connect on to Morgana. And these double ups are doing some serious work. And now they're actually looking to make some plays happen. Flipper hanging in the wings and Take Set, you know, just two double ups in a row, and he's just loving it.
I don't agree with the decision to go BF sword because you know that the misfortune is going to go Doran's Blaze, and Draven works really well with lifesteal because obviously you get all that extra damage from your axes, and the extra HP as well is huge for staying alive. And I just feel like if you go BF sword and MF goes triple Doran's, you're just going to lose.
Just wanted to get the expensive item out of the way. Energy looks for the cage, but quite able to walk it off.
Yeah, Rome came in from Fiala, but nothing to be found there. Right now, it's been a very slow early game. Only the flash sprint top. I was kind of hoping to see a bit more from both the junglers. I think there was potential to do stuff in the lanes and set them up, but they've both been pretty set on with just farming. Waiting for that level 6. I think perhaps concerned about the possibility of a counter gank. The threat off that is very real. Not much attention paid to the bot lane either, but definitely favorable towards Hillerød just for the pressure that Moxox is able to apply with this misfortune.
Takes it doing a good job of at least staying equal in farm, or relatively close in farm. Should even out that number almost when he gets this wave here.
Pretty easy to farm in the tower as a Draven because of all that extra AD. Essentially, a lot of the timings with regards to tower hit, then hit it regardless, don't really apply to a Draven because you have enough AD.
Yeah.
Especially with the BF sword as well. You can just easily pick it up. Yeah, pretty slow game.
28 minutes, dude.
Yeah, but, you know, we've had quite a few slow ones later on, but Shackle now going for the Herald here. Flipper just going to continue towards his red buff. This is where things could open up potentially. If they do throw this down top lane, I think they could put pressure onto the Set. Set has no flash. He's now looking for something here on a Fiala.
Yeah, Lockdown's actually going to get the haymaker off onto him, but Fiala does a good job of walking away from his jungler to make sure that the Herald isn't contested. Shackle is able to pick it up and get his base off in time. And now Lockdown goes in for a face breaker, gets that stun off, and Friala just takes a haymaker as well.
So much true damage.
He's really starting to get more and more comfortable in this matchup. Now he's got that phage available to him. The damage is starting to really pop off.
Yeah, and Friala just is unable to counteract these trades.
Energy. Good dodge there. Puts the cage down onto Flipper. Forces him to run in circles, but a binding will also connect. The ignite has been used. Shaco throws out the Q. That's going to be the ultimate thrown out by Diana. Shaco dumps onto him. The Zenith, the solar flare to pin him in place. Lots of abilities used, lots of ultimates used. But nobody dies.
Yeah, I mean, you said Flipper, it was a good dodge from Energy. I was more like, it was a big miss from Flipper when Energy had no vision and still managed to dodge the...
He's actually such a big brain. He didn't need wards to know where he is.
I think just Flipper kind of misjudged it. Either way, pretty heavy trading. We did see some more action, but still, as you said, no more kills. Does mean a lot of summoner spells burn though. Flash down for Vigar is a pretty significant one. But again, in reverse, the flash unavailable for Flipper. If he does find himself in a situation like that again inside the cage, not much he's going to be able to do.
All right, well, Takeset's actually pulling back this CS deficit we were talking about earlier. Now he's got that Vampiric Scepter. You can see how easy he's able to heal up Flipper. Looking to make something happen here. Remember, no Solar Flare, no Glacial Prison. Takeset's able to kind of step up aggressively here. These auto attacks off. The Drake's going to get picked up by Shaco, and he's playing well as far as the objectives are concerned.
Yeah, he's finding the objectives, and Flipper trying to make plays happen, but it was really well played because Takeset and Pedersen, not only did they manage to avoid the gank, but then they played up. They played it up to give pressure so that Shackle wouldn't be found and he could finish off the Drake. Okay, Drone really putting his fist down in this matchup. I don't think there's much you can do in terms of trading at this point. And he just has so much wave play, he can easily shove it up.
He hasn't based either. Lookton's sitting on a fair amount of gold. If we could have a quick check of the gold, actually, see how much he's got. Going to get a rough idea. We might have to hold that for the moment as Flipper. Looking to jump in. The flash comes out by Takeset. Flipper, unfortunately, missing his second ultimate of the game.
But in fairness, that one was flashed, and I think they did good. They baited out the Black Shield and then used the Glacial Prison, so they got the flash from the Draven. And that's a significant thing, because if they go for that play again, they very really could find success there.
There's a 1,600 gold currently in Lockerden's pocket on the set, so
nearly enough for the Black Cleaver.
Nearly enough.
You see, obviously, Fiala going heavily towards some 5 cape initially for the armor, but mitigated by the true damage available for the set, and also when that Black Cleaver's picked up the armor shred.
Constantly throwing out those haymakers.
He doesn't even have any grit stacked up, and he just spams it and does so much damage.
All right, let's take stock of the items. Let's take stock of what we've got. We've been talking a little bit about what's going on top lane, and again, we see another haymaker land. He's just getting punched around here.
Yep. I mean, the GLPs come in for the Vigar.
Yep.
So you can make use of the Glacial Augment. Really effective against all these melee champions. Are just creating zones of control that they can't pressure. We see the Warriors in there for Lee Sin. He's placing the Herald down bot lane. A lot of plate gold coming in.
Are they going to be able to pick that up? Actually, teleports are coming in. That's going to be the Solar Flare and the bullet time. Instant Moon in comes down, and that's going to be Flipper able to find himself the first kill. Another one gets picked up as well as Shackle goes down.
Yeah, great TP flank. No flash on Takeset was the important thing here. He loses all of those stacks available to him. And it's a pretty heavy hit. 75% of his stacks. Obviously reducing the amount of gold by a significant amount.
He's pushing forward here. Can actually throw the ultimate out. There's that interaction you were talking about. Look at then. He was bored of playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Wanted to play some League of Legends.
And nearly finds you all in there. Passive healing coming in now, though, for the set does mean he's just going to heal through all that damage applied. But yeah, as I said, you just go with him. He just stays there, and you flip the midair.
He just does a somersault.
Yeah.
Actually, look, not basing here. Wave's crashing in, so he's going to have to, once again, use that haymaker to try and push out the wave, but now it's time for him to base. Doesn't have teleport.
Yeah, I'm assuming Fiala cancelled his.
Yes, I think he ulted him. Yes, he ulted him to stop him from joining that team fight in the bot side. Because that fight could have been very different if suddenly Set shows up and starts flipping people around.
Maybe. I feel like it probably would have gone similarly.
Not a cleaver build.
Oh, he's going Triforce.
He's going for the Triforce.
More based on a squishies.
Yeah. Actually finishes the Triforce there as well, so fully picked up as binding, cage, ulti, everything's getting thrown down into the solar flare. Energy's still alive for the moment. Hasn't got the GLP to use. He has to flash over the wall. Shackle trying to get his way out, but look at the damage this MF is doing into the Veigar. The heal comes out, they throw down the slow zone, get into that damage now. Shackle flicks him away, but the Zenith Blade is going to connect, and Sloth takes him out of a Crescent Slash.
Yeah, I was questioning that Sejuani flash for a second, but manages to get the slow on energy and take them down. This is a skirmishing power of this Sejuani coming in.
Oh no, takes Sets in trouble, does actually get himself the stand aside, and Shackle able to get himself out of a Q. Nice and easy. Whirling Death is available to take Set if he wants to clear this wave. Might just wait for the next wave to connect, as Shaco's also waiting in the wings, but tower will fall down. So the tempo has now picked up. A lot of Forge Scores coming down. Fiala trying to make something happen. Flipper not going to get knocked up here. Still chasing the bear. Binding will find its mark. The Q will connect, and Shaco gets himself a kill.
Punishes a Sejuani, flashless from early and unable to get away. Remember, the dash available, the Arctic Assault, is on a much longer cooldown. That is the thing that shoved Sejuani in the meta, and we can see it being exposed there. Mid lane tower going to go down slow. There's a lucky one, but I don't think they'll be able to find him here.
Trying to find that knock up.
That extra Triforce movement speed coming in clutch.
Yeah, it's really, really coming up big for him. Remember, he does have his ultimate available, and he's still full health. He's still got that passive healing to kind of getting back anything he's lost there. They're not going to contest this Drake. That will be Bifrost picking themselves up a Drake.
Small consolation prize to get the second Drake here. You are down in gold pretty significantly at 4,000. We'll be at Cloud Drake, and as long as Hillerød don't let them pick up any more, they'll still be in a comfortable position. I think my big concern for Bifrost right now, as we said with this draft, if Hillerød get ahead, if Bifrost fall behind, it's so difficult to play. The Draven isn't going to be pumping out enough damage to do anything to these bruisers on the side of Hillerød. And all these melee champions, if they can find the right fight for them, it's pretty easy pickings. The big thing is finding the flanks. If you come at the Veigar from two angles, he's limited as to what he can do. For now, though, Hillerød is going to get control over this Rift Herald, secure the area. You can see the Diana Sloth pushing up pretty heavily in the top side, which means Takesa has to answer, and so Bifrost cannot bring the numbers to contest this Herald. It's going to be pretty easily picked up, and it's so easily picked up that Moxox is just going to rotate the mid. He knows they don't even need him and his support there.
Give it a nice light leash on the Rift Herald, able to pick up that wave as well. With 4K up here. Hillerød actually lost the first Rift Herald, and the second one was picked up by them. Bifrost used it bot lane. I don't actually think they got any plates though, because that's when that scrap broke out on the bot side of the map. Can see the gold on your screen right now, what everybody's sitting with. Massive, massive lead for Sloth over Energy here. 2,000 gold advantage.
You know, I was actually concerned with Sloth, how we would do against the pool of mids currently in the league. We have, you know, Krogson, we have Niter, we have Energy, a lot of names, a lot of experience, but he's holding up really well in this game. He's finding opportunities to get these kills. He's CSing like a monster on this Diana. Really good performance so far. The thing is, can he keep that up? Can he continue that? Because as he gets later in the game, and that Veigar cage becomes a longer duration stun, and obviously the burst potential available from that ultimate, it'll be a little bit concerning. But Merc Treads picked up across the top side of the map for Hillerød with good reason.
Yeah, completely understandable there. We are seeing though Takesa. He picked this Draven. You want to win the lane off that pick. It's aggressive. It's fully early. And it didn't realize that potential. 0-1-0 on that pick currently. Takesa. He has to find a way to get back into this game. Draven still obviously has good damage as the game goes on, but you know, he's not going to offer quite what the MF is going to.
Yeah, and I just felt like Shackle never really found any traction. He never really went bot lane to find any advantages. And part of that may be due to this Morgana pick. I understand it. It lets you survive better, but you don't play a Draven lane to survive. You play a Draven lane to go aggressive. And this Morgana was such a defensive pick. Even if you go for the skirmishes, he can struggle because she only offers a binding. If you bind one of the opponents, they're still going to offer their DPS as long as they're in range of someone to hit. 1-3-1 now developed out Hillerød. Again, something they'll struggle to answer. We saw Lockerdon having so much success in the top lane against Fiala. But in this situation, having the Diana in a long lane against a Viagot, not an ideal scenario for energy.
Not at all. Here's where he's at. 128 stacks, 262 AP currently. Just going to pick up these minions here, get his stacks up a little bit more.
Yeah, not an ideal situation. Be that low on AP, but it is something that scales. There's obviously scale elements to Bifrost in the mid-top. These bruisers right now in the mid-game just feel unkillable. No one on this side of Bifrost has the damage cut through Set or Diana or Sejuani unless they're sort of locked up and they have several members hitting them for a significant time. And I think that's the difficulty right now. Is in skirmishes, they will just be completely outclassed, especially with the gold lead, which is now gotten even bigger to 5,500 with all these turrets being taken. X-Dragon's going to be spawning soon, and I think this likely is going to be Hillerød's first on the board.
You think when Lockdon's also picked himself up that Sterix as his next item, he's going to be even harder to kill. The Haymaker combined with the Sterix proc is just going to be so disgusting to deal with. Takes it, it's just going to have to take a little bit of a step away. Doesn't want to get caught out by the Hillerød bot lane there with Sejuani at their back. But Bifrost, they are 2 Drakes off getting that soul. It is a Cloud Soul, which is...
So Bifrost are waiting here, but this is really disadvantageous for them. Herald's been thrown down mid. If you look top side, there's a wave pushing in. Hillerød have set this up perfectly, and now they're going for the fight.
Lockerdon wants to try and get that pick onto the Ornn. Gonna hold the ulti for the moment so he can't redirect. They're trying to close in. Throws out the Haymaker onto that backside. Takes it. Uses the Whirling Death. Lockdon's still alive. Massive moonfall into the bullet time. That's a wombo combo, but it only spells 1 kill. Now Flipper is looking for Sklar. Gets himself the kick back, and Flipper is gonna just turn back with his team towards the Cloud Drake.
Honestly, looked like that could have been favorable for Bifrost there, kiting away. Shackle's just going to recall. Oh, may not even be able to get away with that one. Look at the speed coming out.
He's being run down.
This could have been Baron if he goes down.
He's trying to execute.
The pings are coming out. I mean, he's dead. They're going to go for the Baron. The pings are coming. No jungler available for 30
so
seconds.
much work for his team there by not even getting the kill. Sloth's going to pick this up so they have vision and obviously the movement speed to work with if they do get collapsed upon here.
And Sloth was just a monster in that fight. It looked like Bifrost could have turned it around with the kiting, but Sloth got that huge engage. Energy.
Oh,
the TP in. Oh, wait.
Trying to go in here. Frala's doing a lot of damage to him. Gets himself the face breaker off. Frala just needs to find that searing charge. One more Haymaker, the true damage, the burn, the tick. Can he turn it around? Lockdon getting those cooldowns back. Haymaker's back available to him. In comes the searing charge. Dodges out, finds himself the face breaker. Throws out the ultimate again. It's just not enough, but it provides him an escape opportunity.
Getting a little bit closer for Lockerdon on this set, but does manage to get away. But yeah, that team fight Sloth, huge. It looked like Bifrost had found an avenue to kite through their own jungle, escape to the choke where Energy can put down the cage, but Sloth gets that huge ultimate and finally get the dragon on the board for Hillerød. They're now just under 6,000 gold ahead. They burned the TP from Energy. That's going to make things really difficult in the 1-3-1 because right now Energy, if he goes in that side lane, he's going to be a sizable difference away. You want the Vigor with your team so that you can provide disengage and set up like this. Binding just disconnects.
There's a tower there. It's very hard to go for that with the tower.
I think they were banking on the numbers advantage because they land the binding, they land the cage, and the fact is the Diana is top side, the set is bot side. TPs may have come in, but it may have been too late. But you can tell Bifrost is feeling a little bit of desperation here.
Where is their opportunity? What is their way back into this game, Orcs? How do they pull this off versus Hillerød, who have got themselves a massive gold lead?
So I think the key thing is if you just look at how the Cloud Soul sort of structures these avenues of wind to kite through your own jungle, it sets it really well up for Bifrost to take team fights here. If they can kite through the Cloud Soul area, it's a perfect spot for the cage to come down from the Vigar, and it can just stun up all these melee champions. Bifrost, they need to kite.
Oh, they're jumping in. Flash over the wall.
Hort does manage to survive with Flash being burnt. Not exactly the sort of situation I'm talking about where you're kiting away, but time. Time is in their favor if they stall the game out for longer, and that is why Hillerød know they need to force this Baron now. Jackal is in the area looking to potentially steal.
Can he make it happen? Same level, so he's got the same damage on that smite, so technically got the execute. Secure a little bit of additional loaded damage to work with. Takes it, just clearing out these wards on the backside for the moment. They spot it out once again. It looks like Hillerød is just going to peel away. Hextech Hosepipe gets sprayed by energy, but it doesn't find a single mark. And now Baron continues to stay aggroed as it will finally de-aggro here.
So now they can get control of the mid lane priority. Flipper and him in a backed away, and this could be the opportunity for Bifrost to take this mid lane tower. So that's the cost of going for that Baron from Hillerød. Pings are coming out. They're looking to potentially engage here.
Can they do it? They've got a Flipper. He has the Arbor. Able to peel them away. Bifrost recognize that, stepping away. They've really not done a lot of work to this mid lane tower.
And it completely makes it so difficult to challenge Hillerød in terms of control of the map, because whenever mid lane is shoved by Bifrost, there's such a limited amount of space you can gain. But Hillerød, they can use their control, they can shove up to the inner tower, and then they can just rotate through to the red side jungle and get control. There's a lot of hard to contest spots in Bifrost jungle. You can see now there's control wards. There's one next to the red, on the opposite side of the red buff. That one's pretty easy to take. There's that deeper one next to the Raptors. That is a hard control ward to contest. But with the inner tower being able to shove up that far, you can very easily rotate through and take it. So it makes things a lot easier for Hillerød to get control. For now, Bifrost, they're consistently going to be on the back foot. They're consistently going to be struggling to contest his vision around Baron. And it's just a matter of buying more time, letting the Vigar scale up, letting the Draven get items, and waiting for Hillerød to botch and engage. If they come from two angles, if they come from a flank, Hillerød will be successful. If they just run through a choke point in a straight line, they may. It's not a given with how much the goal difference is, but that's their best chance for Bifrost to win a fight.
Oh, they're looking like they're trying to find something onto Sloth, but he just retreats to his turret. Well, that Moonfall makes it very scary to dive in. He's got shield, got a lot of burst damage as well from his R. Takes it. They stay in this mid lane with Fiala to make sure they clear out this wave. There's the Molten Edge now on Take Set. He's upgraded his Infinity.
He's got a lot of upgrades, but not many items to upgrade. Black Cleaver not finished for Shackle. Zhonya's next for energy, but likely you want to wait for the Rabadons if you can, but at this point I'm not sure you really have time to spare waiting for upgrades. You can see that Hillerød will just consistently keep this 1-3-1 up. It keeps Bifrost split, and that is what they want. A big element of the success of Bifrost would be based on them being able to peel away the Vigar and the Ornn being grouped.
Oh, Solar Flare onto energy, throws out the cage. Big bullet time, Moonfall comes down. Sloth gonna force the Zhonyas out for the moment. He's also gonna use his own. Whirling Death connects, binding onto that backline. Energy does need to be careful though. Has to jump and flash over that wall. Lock it in now, looking for that flank onto the side. Takes a kick to the face. All of the Forge God's gonna come out. Massive haymaker for the shield. True damage does a little bit of burst. In comes the damage and Takes It. Found himself one already. The flash forward has come down. Emin's trying to get that damage off as Takes It's catching axes. Cage is going to get thrown out one more time to peel them away.
That was the sort of team fight Bifrost needed. You can tell the goal difference there because the damage just wasn't coming through. But you could see Hillerød were really struggling. There were constant cages coming down from energy, finding max effectiveness because of the choke point. So if Bifrost closes goal gap, if they extend this game and then find a fight like that, that's where their hope is. But for now, the goal difference is making it very difficult.
Alrighty, gonna pick up this blue buff. Should probably just give that over to energy. He's dawdling his way down. He'll get there. Curious where energy's at on stacks so far, actually. Let's have a little look at him in a second. 391 AP. He's got 182 stacks.
It's not actually a ton, to be honest.
Pretty low, actually, for this level and for this point in the game.
I guess it's difficulty of being unable to really freely farm, being stuck in the side lane against Sloth.
Also,
only catching it.
my numbers are a little skew-iff because every time I played Veigar recently, it's been in Earth. So, 28 minutes, you've got 4 million stacks. However, definitely another slower-paced game here between these two teams.
Bifrost bringing their side laners in. Does allow them to get mid-priority, but you can see if you look in the top and bot lane, they gave up any hope of contesting the side lanes. Now they have to send their mid laner, their top laner, Energy and Fiala, back to catch the waves. And that is when Hillerød can press up. So it was only a little reprieve they found in the mid lane, and they quickly lose that when they have to catch the lane. And this is affecting this 1-3-1. Anytime Bifrost try to contest through mid, they sacrifice the priority in the side lanes, which they eventually have to deal with. Otherwise, they're missing out on waves, which puts them behind in farm. And you can see both their solo laners down 40 CS. Or even worse, they start to lose towers. And with this Triforce build, not as bulky, but a lot more tower damage.
Solar Flare is going to go wide as a good flash by Shackle means he's able to wall hop away to take set. Get him out scot-free. Energy looking to finish off his Zhonya's. Is going to get it on this base. Question is are we going to see the Ornn upgrade on that, or are we going to hold for the death cap? But for the moment, they're not worried about upgrading things. They're worried about losing the Baron. Nasher collapses, slowly coming down, and look at all of those blues they placed. Ulti comes down from the MF to make sure that they can't collapse anymore. In come the Spooky Ghost. Fiala throws out the Ornn Horn. They're trying to get the pick onto one, but look at the burst. It's not going to be enough to keep him alive. As Sloth jumps onto Energy. Takes Set's going to try and catch these axes, trying to get this damage. The Baron has reset for the moment. Shackle drives in, gets himself the kickoff. Takes it. He's getting himself the shutdown. He's popping off on the Draven. Evan's going to go down. That's 4 members down, and Bifrost can look for Baron.
And that is the fight they needed. They could not get onto the back line. They funneled in on them. The cages were huge.
Energy's dying.
Not quite the ending. Not quite the ending. But either way, they get the Baron. We've still got the hype. They get the Baron. Dragon spawning soon. Mokox is heading over to it to get the Scuttle Crab just to stop them from having complete control of vision. And Energy does have TP to join if needed. But overall, they were unable to get access on the back line. Take Set, they withstood a ton of pressure. The cage managed to keep them safe, managed to control the area. And then as soon as all these cooldowns were down, Set was dead. Diana had used her cooldowns. He could push forward and start dealing damage.
That fight was so big for Take Set. He based what a rapid fire cannon and a Phantom Dancer.
And now
I assume he had a lot of gold in his pocket before that fight, but even so.
I mean, he got a huge cash in from the Diana with the shutdown and likely cashing in his stack. So he is very strong right now. He's made the big Draven comeback. And now fight potentially over the Dragon. And Hillerød are looking to contest the mid-priority, but the cage comes in.
Lockton maybe just get caught out again, uses the Haymaker. In comes the call of the Forge God. 3-man knock up here. Bullet Time's going to just do a little bit of damage to Fiala. So he's able to steering charge away to safety. That's a big team fight tool now for Hillerød, already burning. Lockton taking some serious damage. Take Set is actually taking over the game. Sloth, though, he's just putting it into his own hands. He's pushing up that mid lane. Turret should fall. The Whirling Death will clear out most of the minions, but it was just a little bit too little, a little bit too late. Sloth, with the help of his cannon minion, will take this inhibitor down. Drake has been picked up by Bifrost. They're one away from the soul. The Sloth able to jump away, forces the flash out as Fiala goes for the knockup with the charge, but now takes it. Look at the Lockton. He's just going to be able to pick him up. Nice and simple. Solar Flare finds no one. And Bifrost all of a sudden just flipped the switch and they are in control.
And now that Bifrost have this super strong Draven, they have a Morgana to Black Shield him, and there is value in it. You shield a Draven and he can start dishing out so much damage, and the peel coming out for the rest of the team is huge. The 5v5 and Bifrost is just unstoppable right now. Hillerød, they need a flank and they're just not able to find it. The 1-3-1 has crumbled.
You're seeing the power of these cages, they're seeing the power of these bindings. The zoning tools available make it so hard for Lockton to find that flank. And the call of the Forge God onto Sloth means he might be in for a bit of trouble. Bullet Time's going to get fired already as the turret will fall. Ultimate connects there by Flipper, but they can't chase for more. The slows, the fields, the CC just makes it so hard. And Hillerød will lose this turret. The inhibitor stands, and that's crucial for them.
They want to take this fight, though. I think they're pushing up, potentially waiting for a TP flank. Pings are coming out. But I think they know they cannot chase this. If they chase into a visionless area against this team, so liable just to be blown up. And Bifrost They got the Baron and they finally equalized in terms of gold. One dragon away from the soul. They're in a really solid position.
I mean, Hillerød aren't actually that weak. You look, you got a 3-1 Diana who's just finished a death cap. You've got the QSS now just picked up on the MF as well, 3-0-3. There's a lot of damage capabilities available to this team. It's just the kiting capability to Bifrost. If they find that key flank, if they find that blow up, that damage, and just burst out takes it or energy, the fight's Hillerød's, but they can't.
Multiple angles. That is the key thing. You need multiple angles because the cage right now in every fight is just finding maximum effectiveness. Veigar is the perfect anti-melee champion, and Morgana is pretty good at that too. All on top of it, it's just so difficult for them to contest this team.
Spooky goes, Sabine coming up. They've used a lot as well. Oh, looking for that knockup. That's the insect. Tasek gets himself the nice kill. Lockeden just trying to try and split push here. Fiala doing his best to clear him out, but I actually think Lockeden should get this here. A lot of damage coming out from Fiala, but that's going to be the Sterix coming out and looking for this mid lane inhibitor. Lockeden does have himself a Vampiric Scepter. Can charge up that grip. Will actually have a fair amount of sustain as he's trying to keep himself alive for the moment, but Fiala just running him down right here. They're stopping him from getting any bases off. Now look at him trying to just get himself a bit of some damage out, but look at Fiala, he's just running through him, forces the flash.
He can just keep chasing.
Trying to get something onto Shackle. He's going to force him to Zhonya's. He's continuing to chase here in the bot side. But meanwhile, the base is a mess. The base is in shambles. We need to look in the base because the game is ending right now. Open inhibitor here. They're going to flash forward. Takes it. Jumps in. He's got the power of the Black Shield. He is running through everybody. That's going to be the open Nexus. That's going to be a dead base. Moonfall comes down. Takes it. Cannot be shut down in time. And Bifrost pull that game back and they take the victory.
Oh, and just what a turnaround. We said there was the condition for them to come back. We said Bifrost, if they find the right scenario, if they kite in the right way, if they use the Veigar correctly, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. And I think just solid team fighting, good understanding, and take set. I said this guy can step up, and honestly, I didn't expect it myself after that early game, but he came back in this huge, and as soon as he was given the gold, given the lead, he just absolutely popped off.
Yeah, it was a really, really solid showing there from Take Set. We talked about him on the Draven, and 20 minutes I called him out, and I was like, he's just not doing anything. Gets one team fight, and he takes over the game. It was fantastic showing there. And, you know, it showed confident patience, you know, coming out from the side of Bifrost. They lost early, and they waited until their moment when they knew that they actually were able to take control of that game again, because it did look dire. Again, that's 2 games in a row where one team's been winning early and they just haven't had the ability to close it out or get those major objectives that give them the tools to push an even larger advantage. And in desperation, in frustration, they get caught up, they get picked out, and unfortunately, it froze the game for them.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely issues in the draft there. I think, because yes, obviously they had a successful early game, and you can say maybe if they transition better into the later stages, but it becomes so difficult. The Veigar is such an effective champion against a melee composition, and there were just so many champions that were just limited by this cage. Every time it came down, it's like, well, I guess I stand still or I die. And that was the issue there. It just felt like there was no real great avenue to approach it unless they found these flanks. And maybe that's the criticism you could say, is that they never really put too much stead into actually trying to find good flank avenues. They had a Leona, they had a Diana, they had a Set.
Yeah.
They never once looked to... It's something you see Hylissang frequently do is he tries to find pockets of vision, wait for the other team to step up, and then go for a flank angle. That may have found them the win in that particular game, but I still think they had a hard task in front of them.
Well, unfortunately for them, that is going to be the game, and Bifrost, they get themselves their win. So let's have a little look at tomorrow's games to see what we got coming up. Be starting the day off with Vipers Inc. versus Hillerød, and let's see if Hillerød are able to bounce back. Bifrost, they have a pretty hard game, though. They're playing up versus Hybrid. Then we've got Dusty versus Atlandio, and we ended the day with Team Singularity versus Norvavind.
I like how you just add extra letters, Atlandio and Norvavind.
What I like to do. It's late, dude. It's late. I flew in this morning.
We've had some great League of Legends, though.
We've had some fantastic League of Legends.
And some League of Legends.
Yeah, we've had some slow League of Legends. We've had some good League of Legends. One thing, the Nordic region, I am seeing some sick insects from these guys. Like, consistently, insanely good insects onto key people.
I feel like every single... I mean, it is the meta at the moment where Lee Sin's like really good, but every jungler is just basically. It's either a Nunu one trick or a Lee Sin one trick. It feels
We haven't
like.
seen a Nunu yet, so maybe tomorrow.
Well, it's been banned, so
Once.
yeah.
Yeah, true. We've seen Lee Sin every game, so maybe we see some priority on the bans on the Lee Sin, or what do you think?
There's too many champs to ban. That is the problem.
Need
Think
more
about
bans.
all the
It took Riot so long to give us 5 bans each.
Yes.
Now we need 12 bans total.
I think they should add a ban every time they release a new champion. It's the only fair way. Oh, Senna's released? Oh, here's another ban. Oh, Kiana's released? Oh, here's another ban. It's the only way.
That's going to get out of hand. Could you imagine how long picks and bans are going to take if that's the case?
Well, we could just skip it and just say, okay, so first 3 are just mandatory, ban all the new champions.
We do that anyway in competitive. They're literally disabled for like a few weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's just newer rework champions, always just
Orcs, I think it's time for you to get to bed.
Yeah, definitely. I'm getting a bit of a run here.
Thank you very much for joining us here on the Nordic Championship. We will be back tomorrow at 7 for more games. So don't go anywhere until then, and we'll see you later.